Guys, I am so stoked to be down here right now. Oh my gosh. Okay, welcome back to the podcast where fluffy blankets, a pair of Beats headphones, and just me doing me makes for a lit-ass time, is what's going on right now. Okay, I am beyond happy to be down here because, let me tell you, today was not my day. Now, before I go any further, I want to say I am probably going, in the next minute, 30 seconds or so, I'm going to complain about my reality versus true reality. If you don't want to listen to that, just skip ahead literally like 30 seconds, and then everything will be okay. Okay, ready? Go. Okay, so basically I bought an Apple Watch, and then the charger was broken, and I went to Target to get another charger, and they were like, oh, we can't replace, or it's going to cost you $30 to replace it. I bought that charger. I came home, realized that that charger wouldn't fit on my watch, and then charged it into the one that I thought was broken, and it worked, and so I spent an hour at Target for absolutely no reason. Whatever, school sucks, blah, blah, blah. Ah, no, I can't say that. Ah, no. Okay, mistakes were made. I'm not re-recording. I just don't give a fuck right now, okay? School does not suck. School is a privilege, and I fucking love education. But I had some complications. All right, that's all my complaining. For the rest of this podcast, you will be getting positive Declan. And if I am frustrated about something, I will introduce a solution. That is what's important. You can be frustrated, and you can talk about the bad things as long as you're trying to make it better, all right? Let's jump right into it. Oh, I did get a new Apple Watch, so, dab. Let's get into it. Okay, so basically, here's something that I struggle with on a daily basis. There are two sides to me. One side of me is like perfectionism and productivity and all that kind of stuff. And then the other side is like happiness and like being a teenager and like experiences. And both of these sides are good, but I find it difficult to figure out where's my balance and when is it okay to be in a certain aspect, to be in a certain position, a certain side of me. So first let me describe these sides. So the perfectionist kind of productivity side is kind of like my schoolwork vibe. Like I work really hard. You know, I was about to say, like, I don't want to boast, but fuck yeah, I'm going to boast. I work hard, and I spend a lot of time in the resource centers getting my homework done, and I try to do my best, and I try to be a straight-A student, and make my handwriting look pretty, and be organized, and just be, like, on top of it. Like, just be that person. You know that person that you look at, and they're like, fuck, they're on top of it, man. Like, they got their shit done. That's what I'm trying to be. But there's also another side of me. There's, like, the happiness trying to get experience from life part of me. The part that's, like, you know what, like, it's really okay for me to not get stressed out about schoolwork. Like, this assignment in the grand scheme of things is not doing anything. And maybe going out, having a fun night with my friends is more beneficial than something else. Or getting involved in some shenanigans, allegedly, would be better for me as a person. It would just make me more happy. And I think both sides of me, both sides, no matter what, they make me happy, they make me a better person. But it's just finding that balance. I'm trying to find that balance because part of me wants to participate in teenage activity on the weekends and like have a good time. Well, I can't because of the medication that I take. I can't participate in all of it, but I can participate in some of it. If you don't understand what that means, you can ask me, but I can't say it on the internet because that's a terrible idea. Okay, so basically, I'm trying to figure out where is it okay to be one side of me and where is it okay to be the other side of me? Because as much as I would like to be both people at this, like both sides at the same time, they just conflict too much, and so I have to separate them into specific areas. So I think, here's my idea, is I can be that weirdly obsessive type A person when shit actually needs to get done. Like, when I actually have homework assignments, when I actually have stuff to do, that's when I can be perfectionist, fucking crazy person, give myself anxiety type shit. And then when nothing important, when nothing essential to my grades or to whatever, that's when I can be that goofy, silly kind of person and not have to stress out. Because stress is good. People don't emphasize this enough. Stress is great in moderation. You know what I'm saying? Like ice cream is good in moderation. You don't want to have too much, you get fat. But you don't want to have none because then you don't get ice cream. Like, ice cream is dope. You want ice cream. So what I'm trying to figure out is where is that sweet spot of ice cream that I'm trying to hit. You know what I'm saying? So you can apply this to stress as well. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying right now. Stress is good in moderation because stress makes shit get done. Whether we like it or not, if you don't get stressed out about a homework assignment, if you don't get stressed out about finishing a project, you ain't gonna fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really just gonna you're gonna be like, I don't feel stressed about this, I don't care. And some kids can do that. Congratulations if you can do that, because that's good for you, honestly. I wish I could do that. I honestly do. And I know it makes me sound like a preppy asshole that I just said that, but I don't give a fuck. Okay, so that's what's been going on in my head the past couple of days, is where is that balance? You know what I'm saying? Okay. But here's the thing. I haven't been on my medication for a week. And let me tell you about the last week without my medication. Let me get it started right now. Okay, I take 2 different pills. I take an anti-anxiety and an antidepressant pill. And that shit, my body is like, it needs it now. I've been taking it for at least 6 months now. And so I'm like, if my body doesn't get it, I'm addicted, which is terrible, but that's just how life be. Medication helps me. I don't give a fuck what everybody else thinks. Okay, but that's not the point. I haven't had it for a week because there was a mix-up at the doctor's office, and a whole bunch of stuff goes down, and now I got what they call bridge medication, so I have medication for the next 10 days until I can get into the doctor's office and talk to the doctor. But that's what I'm saying right now. Okay, so the last week, a lot of events have occurred. Including me shaving my hair and getting a fight, neither of which very much like me. So that's for real right there. My medication makes me who I am, and that's okay. Such a big part of me, before I started taking it, thought it wasn't okay. I was like, you can't manipulate your body with chemicals just because you feel a certain way. But for real, like science type stuff right now, chemicals in your brain can get off balanced. And by taking that medication, I think it resets. And even if my chemicals aren't rebalanced, taking that medication not only makes me a better person, but it makes me who I am. Like, I don't think me as a person is anxious. I feel calm. Like, my personality feels calm, but for some reason I get anxiety attacks and I get depression, but that feels so detached from who I am that taking that medication, it's okay for me because it makes me who I want to be and it makes me who I am. And that's important. That is deep right there. Fuck. We got into it right there. All right. No going back. So yeah. I've been anxious and kind of sad, definitely a little sad the past week or so. Because not only do I not have it in my system, but now my body's trying to recover from the withdrawals of not having it. Like being cut off, which is difficult. My head's been hurting, and I've been making iffy decisions. But I'm back on it, and we're back on the grind, and life is an experience. You know what? That week, it was a good experience for me, honestly. Because I would not have known what it's really like to be off my medication. Like, in the past, I could be like, do I really need it? But now I know I do. It's an essential part of who I am, and that's okay. So, why does it still bug me? You know what I mean? Like, I can sit here and say it's okay that I take medication, but, deep down, it still concerns me that I have to. What does that say about me? You know what I mean? Like, am I a sad person and I just don't want to admit it? Am I a panicky person and I just don't want to admit it? Or is this medication really making me who I am? Like, is it okay for me to be using something that helps me? Is that okay? When I put it like that, it seems so okay. Like, is it okay to use something that helps you? Yeah, it's okay, but there's a part, like, take Adderall, for example. If you take Adderall, it's making you better, but is that okay? You know what I'm saying? So, that's the tough part. Sorry, I know I just got really quiet, but I'm, trying to process. I'm trying to process what just happened. I've never said this out loud. So it's hitting me, you know what I'm saying? It's hitting me right in the feels. Excuse my vocabulary. Oh my gosh. I wish I was smarter. I wish I could talk smarter, for real. Because, right there, I say, way too much. I'm trying to tone that down. And I cuss, and, oh, fuck. This is going to be so hard. I want to be able to eloquently express my thoughts. But at the moment, I'm incapable. And for the rest of the podcast, I will do my very best. But I would rather get my message across or get what I'm thinking out than to focus too much on the language. Does that make sense? So we're going to try, but if it ends up not working out, it's okay, because the real reason I'm doing the podcast is to get it out. And however I get it out, if I sound like a teenager or an adult, it doesn't matter. All right. Here we go. So, Fortnite. I played hella Fortnite this weekend. And it is a very fun game. Whoever came up with the idea of putting Minecraft and Call of Duty into one game, you're a fucking genius. I mean, you're very intelligent, and I'm sure that you're stupid rich right now. The problem is, time is money and time is happiness. Well, not always, but if you spend your time correctly. If I spend my time correctly, if I spend my time correctly, time is happiness. And doing this podcast takes so much time because not only do I have to record for 30 minutes an hour, but then I have to go through the process of uploading, which honestly, I just click a button. I don't know why the fuck I'm complaining right now. Okay, yeah, let's be positive. I get the opportunity to click that button, and then it takes some time for YouTube to process and upload it. And I'm not doing any real work, but it's just sitting there waiting for it. Feels like I'm doing something. So, oh my gosh. This is why we're doing this, people. This is why we're doing this. Okay. On nights that I have the time, I will record a podcast, get my thoughts and feelings out, and then while my phone is processing and uploading that video, I can be playing Fortnite and I can just have my phone next to me, and every once in a while I can just like look down to make sure that it's still working and it's still processing. Fuck, dude, that was so good. Oh my gosh, guys, this is what it's about right now. Okay, I complained a little bit, but I found a solution, and everything is awesome. Like that was so precious, that moment right there, and I want everybody to appreciate that. Okay? Oh my gosh. I mean, I know that it seems like I'm trying to fill time, and I kind of am, but I love that, what just happened right there. Okay. I'm not trying to fill time. I was just trying to figure out what's next on my note, but I'm going to be real with you guys. Okay, so basically, I have, like, a notebook, and it has a set of topics, and for the most part, I try to transition smoothly from topic to topic, but some of these are difficult. Like, how do I go from talking about my podcast to ideas for February's 30-day challenge? So, if you don't know, if you didn't listen to the last one, I don't like New Year's resolutions because they're way too long and they end up failing. So, what I want to do this year is do monthly resolutions. So, January's, let's not get into January's because it's complicated to talk about. If you want to, go listen to the last podcast. But I'm coming up with ideas for February. Oh, I fell short. On my January. I'm just going to explain it. Okay, so my January resolution was to allegedly not participate in Colorado recreational activities. And if you don't understand that, then I'm sorry, but I can't explain it any other way without criminalizing myself. Dude, fuck. I don't know. That's just how I'm going to explain it. And I failed. I think I made it 18 days. And then, because that whole medication situation, we had some struggles, is what happened. And until then, but I still have time left in January. So for the rest of January, which is, 8 days? Yeah, 8 days. I'm going to do a quick water challenge. So I'm going to try to get 2 bottles of water every day, and just, that's it. Like, that's so simple. That's what I want to do for the next 8 days. But February's 30-day challenge. That's what we need to get into. What are we going to set as our goal? Here are some things that I've been thinking about. It could be involving exercise. It could be involving mental health or like meditation. It could be involving religion and God. It could be involving making positive change. It could be, you know what? I'm going to roll with that one. I like that one. Saying that out loud was good. That's not a measurable goal, though. Like, I can say I want to make one positive change every day, like make somebody's day a little bit better. But that's not measurable. Okay. That'll be a side goal. Because that's not measurable. I'll just try to do that. But February, this is a tough one. But I want to exercise every day for at least 5 minutes. And you know what? I'm going to use exercise loosely. Because, like, if I go on a walk, that sounds so old. What the fuck? Am I, 80 years old? I don't need to go on. I'm going to go on a walk this month. Oh, hell yeah, I'm going to go on a walk. Exercise. So I just need to get out, move my body around for 5 minutes every day. Because I notice a significant difference when I do some physical activity in my mood. Like, if I'm getting out there and I'm lifting weights or running or playing lacrosse, I'm down for life. You know what I'm saying? I am happy to be alive, living that shit up. But when I don't, it's not that I'm sad, I just not as in good of a mood. So exercise. February, we're going to do 5 minutes of exercise. That's real simple. And most days, I'll have lacrosse and training anyways. So it's going to fit right in. I'm going to hit that goal and I'm going to have a team on my back. So heck yeah. Now, the difficult part about challenges like this is there's no incentive, you know what I'm saying? Sure, it'll make me a happier person, but what am I working towards? So I think there should be a reward system. Reward? Present? There's a present at the end of the trail. You know, okay? I'm not going to... I just want to be able to say that word. A system in which I get rewards. There we go. Perfect. So at the end of the month, if I did every day, then I go and get myself blank. And then if I missed between 1 and 5 days, then I go and get myself blank. And then if I did 6 and 10 days, that's how many I missed, then I go and get myself blank. Comprende? And those things will be literally so small. So at the end of 30 days, I could be... I'm going to get Orbeez for myself. Do y'all know what Orbeez are? Oh, shoot. My mic is where is my microphone right now? I really hope you could hear that. I'm going to be kind of sad if you couldn't. Fuck it. Actually, I really need to go back and check. Give me 1 sec, guys. I know for you guys, your life was different than mine, but what happened was the microphone got, pushed under my blanket, and I wasn't sure if it was, picking up the sound or whatever, or if it sounded bad. What I saw, it didn't sound terrible, and I'm not going to re-record that because that was such a long segment, but that's just how it be sometimes. If it's not good, I'm sorry. Also, suck it up, or just, don't listen. I don't care, you know what I'm saying? But for me, I had to go back and check, otherwise I would have been panicking about it for the rest of the podcast about whether or not the sound was good. What were you talking about? Oh, reward systems. And Orbeez. Yes, Orbeez. Okay, so if I can finish a 30-day exercise challenge, I'm going to buy myself some Orbeez and put it in a balloon and mess around with it. And it's going to be awesome. Okay? If I miss between 0 and 5 days, I'm going to buy myself a delightful lunch. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. And if I miss between 6 and 10 days, I'll buy myself a drink. Because even though technically I failed my 30-day challenge, I still nailed that 20-day challenge. You know what I'm saying? I still got 20 days in, so I deserve a drink. If you don't reward yourselves for even trying, what the heck is the point? You know what I'm saying? So, as long as I try and I get out there, I'm going to get a reward. But I'm shooting for that Orbeez. I'm definitely shooting for that Orbeez award. Alright? I want to buy that for myself. And I'll be happy if I do. Because that's what it's all about. It's all about finding that passion and getting it done. Speaking of which, I think passion projects are a great idea. If I'm trying to process and think so a passion project is basically something that you do on the side from school, sports, whatever it may be. It's something for yourself. For me, that's podcasting. This is a passion project right here. I'm passionate about it. I want to get it done. It's a project. I spend time on it and I work on it. And that's just how it goes. And it's making my life better. It's making me a better person. And we'll go into that a little bit later. But I think if you're feeling a void in your life, get a passion project. Learn how to play the guitar. Learn how to cook. You know what I'm saying? Just get a passion project in your life and roll with it. And that void will be filled. Or at least, in my experience, that void was filled. Because I got this passion project, and it is so helpful in my life. It really is. It really is. Just like going to Einstein's is a morning. I can't do these lame transitions. I really can't. I was going to say, just like going to Einstein's in the morning to do my homework. That's helpful. Nobody cares, okay? This morning I went and did my homework at Einstein's, and it was cool. Okay? That's, why is this written down in my notebook right now? It was cool, and I got work done, and I want to do it more often. That's about it. I'm so weird, guys, honestly. For real. Okay. The next note. When positivity doesn't help. Okay, so I started to realize that one of my teachers has such a positive attitude, but this teacher is so positive that constructive criticism is difficult for the teacher. This person will grade really harshly, yet the comment at the bottom is your tone was nice. I can't say that. Yeah, I don't care. She won't care. Because we homies. But I think sometimes her positivity prevents learning. So, here's what I think. And here's where honesty comes in. Honesty will always be introduced in each podcast. Maybe not. I'm not going to promise that. I think you can be positive, but you also have to be honest. So, if you want to be a positive person, you could be like, yo, you crushed it on that specific part, but here's what we need to work on. Because you can't be positive if you're not learning, or at least for me. I can't be positive if I'm not learning. I become more positive when I fail and I learn something from it. And I'm kind of butthurt when that happens. But when I take that lesson and I learn, that's when I'm happy. Once I've gone through a failure and then I'm able to apply that lesson to another thing, that's when I get stoked for real. So, yeah. And that's definitely part of grading, is like, where do teachers, because I'm going to be a teacher, so where do I cut the line of harsh grading and positive attitudes? Like, if somebody got a D on my test, I can't be like, yeah, but you got 60%, right? Can I? I mean, I can, but you gotta go help that student and guide them to a influential experience. Getting a D on a test isn't gonna do anything for anybody unless that person figures out why they got a D on the test and can fix it for next time. You know what I'm saying? Am I making sense? I feel like I'm not making sense right now. That's alright. Speed of life. That's my next note. Oh, okay, so I don't know if you guys love this style, but I'm kind of digging it right now, where I just kind of bring up the topics that are on my sheet and that I've been thinking about. I don't need smooth transitions or whatever. So the speed of life. The speed of life is so fast. I was talking about this with one of my teachers. And she was like, "Yo, life's moving so fast. You got to take a second to look around." You know what I'm saying? I don't like when I say that. Why do I say, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck is that? I don't know. Okay, sorry, tangent. I can't complain. Okay, instead of saying, here's the solution, guys. Instead of saying, you know what I'm saying? Because that's really just a filler word. I'm going to take the time to process my thoughts. And if it's taking too long and I need to fill that silence, I can say, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Okay? That's better. Okay, so we were talking about how life moves so fast. And as people, I think this has got to be a movie quote, but we got to take a second to look around. Otherwise, it's going to pass us right by. Think about the last time that you sat alone for 5 minutes without your phone. Like just processing life. Just letting your mind catch up. That's my challenge for you guys today. If you made it this far, that's my challenge. And I'm going to do it myself as well. Sit down for 5 minutes. Either turn it off completely. I don't mean like airplane mode. Actually, you can put it on airplane mode. But I don't mean like do not disturb. I mean airplane mode, turn it off, put it in a different room, something. Get every piece of technology away from you and just sit there for 5 minutes and contemplate. Contemplate your life. Let your brain catch up and figure out what the hell happened to you today. Okay? That's my challenge for you guys today. Is do that. Because here's another tacky transition. Because we gotta appreciate the small things. Otherwise, the big things won't matter. This is similar to that quote where people are like, one flap of a butterfly's wings can create a hurricane. First of all, what? If that's real, that's fucking crazy. If that's real, yo, guys, something that small can create a hurricane? I don't believe it. I don't buy it. That's wrong. But the lesson in there is important. And maybe it's like a life lesson. Maybe I'm taking it too seriously and it's a life lesson. I think the idea of the quote is that small actions have big impacts. Which makes sense and is a valuable lesson. But here's what the quote doesn't hit that I'd like to talk about. I can't live my life thinking that every small action I take is going to have a huge effect. Does that make sense? Like, for me, I just can't spend that time thinking about every single thing that I do in a day and figuring it out if that's going to have a huge effect. I get the idea behind the quote that don't be mean to people, because being mean is going to create bigger problems. Like, saying one thing can cause a kid to go and kill himself or whatever. But that's the scariest part about it. Now we have to think so much about what we say. So here's what I'm thinking, I'm experiencing, is that you should go into life with a positive attitude, and positive things will only create more positives. Does that make sense? Like, I said that. Does that make sense? That's better. Okay. We're improving, guys. We're improving. I literally just forgot what I was talking about. I know that we're talking about the butterfly and the hurricane thing. This is real life. People forget stuff, and I'm not ashamed of it. This is my podcast. Welcome. Oh my gosh, I really thought that I'd... Okay, so... Oh, here we go. Here's what I think that we should do with life. Go in with a positive attitude, because positivity will only spread more positivity. And if it doesn't, then life is a lie, and I'm sorry. That's all I got for you guys. I really believe that positivity only creates more positivity. But you can't be afraid. Don't live. I shouldn't live in fear. You'll catch me every once in a while. I'll say you'll, or like I'll say something about you, and then I realize that I have to bring it back because I can't make assumptions about who you are, what your life is like. So I have to bring it back to myself. I'm really making this podcast for myself, so I'm really talking to myself. So when I say you, I'm really talking to myself, but I should, since other people are listening, I should address it as myself. I don't want to live in fear of making that mistake, so I'll go in with a positive attitude. But we're humans, and shit hits the fan every once in a while, and you gotta clean it up. Like, don't be afraid of making a mess just because you have to clean it up. Don't be afraid of failing just because it's a failure. Does that make sense, what I'm trying to say right now? That I think, for me, living in fear is worse than making a mistake and trying to correct it. And every once in a while, you won't be able to correct your mistakes. And those mistakes that you can't correct either don't matter that much, or they matter so much that you really shouldn't have made that mistake in the first place. Let me give you some examples. Messing up on a quiz. You do your arithmetic wrong, because I do this all the time. I'm so bad at adding and multiplying, yet I love math. You figure out the problem correctly, but you forget to multiply two things correctly, and therefore you get something wrong on a quiz. That is so minuscule. That mistake means absolutely nothing. But if you make a big mistake, something like cheating on your spouse, cheating on your significant other, that's something that you should have known is a big no-no beforehand. That's the kind of mistake that doesn't take life experience to learn. Does that make sense? Although, I say that, and people still cheat every day, and people are still getting hurt by cheaters every day. Why has nobody learned this lesson? No, I can't say nobody. A lot of people have learned this lesson, and a lot of people don't cheat. But for those people that do, I don't understand what's going through their head. And I wish that I could help them figure that out. Is that negative? What I just said? No, it's not. I'm not going back on what I said. That makes sense, and I'm living by it. Speaking of which, let's talk about resilience right now. I wish I should do more research before I start doing this, or have like my iPad next to me so I can look up definitions and stuff, so I can give you guys the actual definition of resilience. But basically, in my head, resilience is, here, I can use a Rocky quote. Life is not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep going. So resilience is less about how hard you work, how much you push, and more about how much failure and how much shit you can go through and still come out the other side rockin'. You know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So, resilience is an important part of life, but I read this article where it was saying that resilience relies on connection. It relies on learning from your adults on how to work through failure, and then being able to use somebody else as a support system for when you're going through something. Because resilience is not an individual thing, and that's the tough part is, do the people that just didn't win the lottery of life, what do they do? Like I think so much is based on human connection, and it's so sad for me to think about the people that didn't grow up with influential adults and because of that they have difficulty in social interactions and all that. Like, that sucks. They just they pulled the slot machine and they didn't get all sevens. They got all sorts of different things. And that's so upsetting, and I wish that the world was not like that. I think every person deserves a chance and deserves a parent, deserves like a real adult in your life that will teach you. Because what's the point, man? What's the point in having kids unless we're not, like, we gotta teach them our lessons. Even if it takes them messing up and learning the same lesson, we should at least be there to teach it to them. Because a lot of kids will fuck up, and then their parents won't be like, hey, you fucked up, but this is what you should do next time. And I think every kid deserves that. Every kid deserves the chance to mess up and then have their parents say, here's how you messed up, here's how you should have handled it differently. And that's why punishment is so dumb. Dude, unless they do something really bad, I don't think I'll punish my kids, because every experience in life is either a positive experience or a learning experience. And I don't think that punishing somebody is educating them on what they did wrong. Like, if you tell a teenager, you're like, hey, I saw that you came home drunk last night, you have to stay in the house for the next month. The only thing that kid is going to want to do is go back out and do it again. But if a kid comes home drunk, you let them fall asleep. You put Advil and orange juice on their bed for when they wake up, and then you can sit down and talk with them, and you can say, hey, I don't think it was responsible for you to go out and drink as a teenager and come home the way that you did. I think in the future, you should let me know when you're going to do that so I can be prepared to give you a ride, or um, or you should do it in this house where it's a more controlled environment. So then you're not punishing a kid for experiencing life, but you're educating him on how to have a better experience, on how to have a more safe, more helpful experience. And that's the same for our prison system. Like, if somebody steals a car and then they go to jail for 5 years, 5 years of jailing is not teaching them not to steal a car. It's just making them hurt more. I don't know if you guys know this, but our prison system is terrible, legit fucked up. Like, people go through bad experiences, like rape, getting stabbed, all sorts of stuff. And if you think that stealing a car is worth 5 years of that hell, you gotta be out of your fucking mind, is what's going on. That's so brutal. Our prison system shouldn't be confinement. It should be education. It should be a reform system. It should be where people go to learn and figure out what's going on, why did they make that mistake, and how they can be a better person. What is the point in like I don't like the death penalty because, one, it's hypocritical. It's saying, like, don't kill people, but if you do, we get to kill you. Second, it's not helping anybody, and it's definitely not helping that person. I would rather have, like, a school shooter, I would rather have them figure out their life, figure out their mind, have real experiences, and become a good person in reform than just to kill them. Because that's so inhumane. It is inhumane for them to commit a mass shooting, for sure. But putting them in a prison system that's going to ruin them is just as inhumane. Maybe not just. That is definitely wrong. But it's still inhumane. It's still a negative. I think that we should be giving our convicts positive lifestyles so that when they go back into the world, they don't want to do the exact same thing because they've been sitting in jail banging their head against the wall and not having a good time. So where do you guys stand on this? I want to know. I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Let's see. Let's check how long we've been recording. I don't know. It doesn't tell me. Okay, that's not helpful at all. Thanks, phone. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think I'm on the right path by saying that reform is better than prison? Do people like that, do terrible people that do terrible things deserve that? Or are you guys more on the side that's like, no, they did an inhumane thing, kill them? That sounds bad, but that's the truth. I'm not going to shy away from the truth. Some people honestly believe that if you kill a person, you deserve to be killed. And I guess I just don't agree with that because I just find it so hypocritical to say don't kill anybody, but if you do, then I get to. Then the government gets to. And it's not helping anybody. You know what I mean? I would rather help that you have to be a broken person, a messed up person to commit something terrible like that. It's not helping anybody to end their life. It would help if you put positive energy into that person. Give that person positivity, and they won't be so broken anymore. Sure, getting rid of somebody, killing somebody, the death penalty will take them from committing anything more evil. But why do that when we have the opportunity to reverse the evil, to make it better? Does that make sense? So which side are you guys on? Let me know. Maybe I'm just like a dumb teenager that doesn't understand the reality. You know what I mean? Do you understand what I am saying? We're learning, people. We're doing it. We're getting our thoughts out. I want to hear your feedback. Code word for today. I want to go tattoo. Because in my basement, I have like a picture of my tattoo. Not a picture, but like a painting of the symbol that is my tattoo. And I've been looking at it this whole podcast, so I'm going to go with tattoo. Send me a tattoo if you got to this point. And live up that positivity. Live up your mind. Spend that 5 minutes. Remember our challenge. Spend that 5 minutes just to process. Okay? Wonderful people. You have a wonderful night. Thank you for listening, and I hope everything was fantastic today. Blessings.